Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to tomorrow's weather today. Today, we are talking about Tropical Depression Cristobal, which is still over southern Mexico and northern uh, Panama, I believe this is, um, down here. Cristobal has still retained its name with 35-mile-an-hour winds and a pressure of 1,000, and it's starting to move. It took that turn towards the north. It is moving north-northeast at 7 miles per hour. Looking at the cone put out by the NHC, you can see there's some tropical storm watches for the eastern Yucatan Peninsula, just in case it does strengthen and the wind field is large enough to reach there. But it's looking like a Louisiana landfall is inevitable at this point, um, and before it does make landfall, it's going to take a turn towards the west a little bit and then come back up. And that's you can see that in the cone, and we will see why that case is. Looking at the U.S. rainfall potential, we got a lot of rain that's going to fall. Um, so we saw that the center is going to track somewhere into Louisiana. In Florida, we're still going to be seeing 2 to 4 inches of rain, possibly spots of heavier 4 to 6. And then for the Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, wide area of 4 to 6, and there could be even some spots, especially near New Orleans, of 6 to 10 inches. I would not be surprised if there were locally higher amounts um, within the 6 to 10, maybe seeing up to a foot of rain. Can't rule it out. Flash flooding potential. Um, you can see in Louisiana, slight risk for flash flooding. And if we go over to the wind speed probabilities, as of right now, we have a yellow, which is 30 to 40% chance, and at the coast, 40 to 50. If we go over to the Storm Prediction Center, we go to Sunday, we will actually talk about this severe weather event in 2 days, and we'll talk about tomorrow's severe weather tomorrow. But we can see we have a marginal risk of severe storms um, down in the Gulf Coast. This is due to um, you can see tropical moisture start northward, um, minimal cape, and low-level shear, which favors rotation. My bad. Um, so with landfalling tropical systems, you always look to the northeastern or the right side, the right front quadrant. The best shear will be there because of all the moisture that's being pulled up. And so think about this: you have lighter winds at the surface due to um, friction with the ground, so it speeds it's over water. This is the beach right here. It's faster over water, then it slows down here. But these winds just above the ground at like 850 millibars, which is like 500, uh, not 500, 5,000 feet above the ground, they're still fast, which causes the spin to occur. If you take a if you can, and that's like evident. You can kind of see how that works with winds going faster above here than they are here, and it starts uh, to turn. Um, so we do have a tornado risk. I wouldn't be surprised if that is dragged a little bit northward too. But looking at satellite imagery, it's looking better than it did yesterday, especially with all this convection on the eastern side. But um, it looks like some dry air is getting in on the western side, or the low level center somewhere in here, I believe. And you can see all this dry air or some wind shear. Let's take a look at that, whether that's wind shear map. Um, it's probably shear. You can see the winds are out of, they're here coming in like that. Let's go over to radar really quickly. Yeah, so radar isn't really showing much because it's up here. It's over here now. Let's see, is there another radar that we can see? Oops. I don't think this is gonna see it. I was Guatemala, not. My bad. I said Panama. I meant Guatemala because it's sitting like right over here right now. Actually, it's more north, like I said. Yeah. So their placement's a little off. Looking at the track, everyone's in agreement that this is gonna um, make landfall in Louisiana. Very tightly packed. Very good agreement. Going back over to current storm information. Um, Intensity, maybe 50 knots at best, it's looking like. Um, and if we go over to the discussion at the National Hurricane Center, they're saying 50 knots, 60 miles per hour is the peak intensity, 60 hours out from this morning, which makes sense. So this is going to be over in a couple days. So we can see how broad this is down here. According to GFS, this is part of a larger gyre, which happens this time of year, and in November you'll get tropical cyclones that develop out of a gyre. This is actually looking much more tightly compact than it did yesterday, so it's following more of the European solution um, from yesterday. It's trying to get some dry air wrapped in, and we will see that on the moisture field. Oops. Um, but you can see it's moving northward, and then it takes this bend into Louisiana. I don't think wind's going to be a huge problem with this, honestly, but definitely the rain. So we can see that upper level trough that we were talking about, the last video I made. Um, my throat is feeling a lot better, so that's why I am making a video. This is actually what's causing Cristobal to be dragged northward, and it weakens, and which lightens the shear as well. And you can see this ridge building in, which helps it push north. Um, I actually haven't been looking to see if we have any other tropical things possibly forming. It's looking like there's a wave possible, um, but nothing really major, according to the GFS for right now. Looking at the vorticity, yeah, it's looking much better. It still looks like there's a warm front, maybe up here somewhere, um, which would also limit this. Going over to the relative humidity. So on the we were talking about that upper level trough. Um, this upper level trough. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of thunderstorm development on the right side, and there's going to be a lot of dry sinking air on the back side. And if we take a look at this on the relative humidity, you can see a lot of moisture, a lot of dry air. And this dry air is going to try and get wrapped in, and you can kind of see that. And this Cristobal might look like a comma head shape. It might look like a comma, um, with all the convection looking like this maybe. And dry air really kicks in and then bubbles off Cristobal. Total accumulated precipitation according to the GFS, um, 2 to 6 inches it looks like, maybe a little higher, 7 to 8. Definitely a lot for Florida and Louisiana and Mississippi. Going over to the CMC. Yeah, see, most of the precipitation is on the eastern side because of all that dry air over here and all that rising air and moist air on this side. This is more east than the GFS as it was taking into central Louisiana, but Louisiana landfall nonetheless. Looking at the total accumulated precipitation, they're bringing the heaviest rain, a lot of rain, over a foot of rain into the Florida Panhandle. And most of the rain actually missing Louisiana, but still generally 1 to 3 inches. Going over to the CMC really quickly, just for track, we could go over to pivotal weather really quickly. It's coming in right around here, so it's like the between the GFS. Oh, why this is okay. Going back to the GFS, we are going to go over to 500 millibar height anomalies. Go over to the United States. So we can see this ridge building in right here. It's also gonna be moving towards the east, and we can see that. And this ridge is gonna start to extend down here. This ridge is also gonna push it off to the, so with this down coming down here, flow is gonna be like that. That's why you're gonna see it go like this, and then there's high pressure also is gonna push it that way, which also helps in aiding. See, you can see it building down here. Watch. So there's a ridge down here too. It's not really connected here. There's a break. And you can see it building right there. And that flow allows it to turn that way. Yeah, let's go over to pivotal weather really quickly. Um, just so we can see the European precipitation. Yeah, central Louisiana. Um, total accumulated. Yeah, 6, 7 inches. Um, so 4 to 6 inches for the Gulf Coast, inch to 4 inches for Florida, and same goes for Louisiana. I think this is a little bit underdone. I think most of Louisiana is going to get heavier rain than a half an inch. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a new video, because the next video could be about you. Um, Also, if you know, comment down below how much rain is the most rain you've gotten from either in one day or from one tropical system. Thank you all for watching.